Okay, so for lesson 68 for Saxon 5, what we're looking at is naming decimal places. So these are the places that we're going to work with today. We have ones, which is normal. Then we have decimal, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Whenever you come across a decimal, the decimal says and, okay? So whenever you cross that decimal, you have to say and. So for example, if we have let's do 3 and 52 hundredths, because the 2 is in the hundredths place. So you say whatever place your number finishes in, okay? If I had had another 3 here, this would be 3 and 523 thousandths, all right? So you say the number kind of like you would if it was a whole number, but then you finish with whatever place value your number finishes in. So if we just had this, it would be 3 and 5 tenths, 3 and 51 hundredths, 3 and 512 thousandths. Okay, if you notice, I did not put another and in here. I know that sometimes something that we just kind of do naturally, but as we put another and in, I'm expecting a decimal because that's what a decimal says, is and. All right, be really careful with that. So again, 3 and 512 thousandths. So during the lesson, it talks about the different places, again, meaning they're fractions. So if we have decimal, there's our ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. This would be tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay? Now, same thing for decimals. If you gave me the number, let's say 2 and 9 tenths, and I said, write that as a decimal, then you need to write it as a decimal. So 2 and 9, oh, that's going to be too small, and 9 tenths. If you had 2 and 92 hundredths, you'd have 2 and 92 hundredths because it finishes in the hundredths column. We can keep going. If you had 2 and 521 thousandths, then you'd have 2 and, again, decimal, and 521 thousandths because it finishes in the thousandths column. Now, in that last lesson, we looked at this a little bit, but I'll show you again. If you have 3 hundredths, it's written 3 hundredths because it's just a 3 in the hundredths column. If you had 30 hundredths, it would be written like this. And oftentimes, we then don't write the 0 because all the 0 is doing is holding a place for something that doesn't have a number in it right now. So in this case, 30 hundredths is equal to 3 tenths. Okay, and seeing as we're going into thousandths right now, 3 tenths is the same as 30 hundredths, which would be the same as 300 thousandths. Okay, if you notice, as the denominator adds a 0, the numerator adds a 0. Okay. So to yourself, just say these. Pause the video before I say them, please, so that you can try it on your own before I say it. First one, 2 and 9 tenths. Second one, 3 and 25 hundredths. Third one, 12 and 132 thousandths. So sorry, again, this one, 12 and 132 thousandths. Okay, if you got them all right, fabulous, well done. That is naming decimal places.